Benchmark, the voice of business. Presented by LMD.
On this week's edition of Benchmark, our lead story brings you an overview of global economic news. Then in our feature segment, we turn the spotlight on Prakash Shafter, Managing Director of Janashakti Insurance, for his thoughts on the state of the insurance sector. And we wrap up this edition by talking to LMD columnist Hasita Premaratna, who weighs the pros and cons of Budget 2012. That's the lineup for Benchmark this week. Hello and welcome to Benchmark. I'm Savitri Rodrigo. We open our show today with a roundup of global news. In Mexico, the World Bank's Sustainable Lighting Program has given 1 million families a reason to save energy and economize on their household electricity costs. The program aims to replace incandescent lights with more economical, environmentally friendly bulbs. Incandescent bulbs currently produce 72% of the light emanating from Mexican homes. Although they are cheaper, only 5% of the energy they consume is converted into light, making them inefficient. Moreover, the increased energy consumption contributes to harmful greenhouse gas emissions during the generation of electric power. Compact fluorescent lamps, better known as energy-saving light bulbs, last 10 times longer than conventional ones and are proven to be at least 70% more effective, helping families save on utility costs. To support the initiative, over 1,100 exchange centers have been set up in 56 metropolitan areas around the country and in cities with 100,000 or more inhabitants. The process is easy. Simply bring in 4 incandescent bulbs, a paid electricity bill and official identification documents or proof of residence. Because every household has a right to replace 4 incandescent bulbs, the program aims to reach over 11 million families by 2012. 4 million light bulbs have already been replaced to date, while the project target is to achieve 47 million replacements by end 2012. The program's green benefits respect the environment by saving electric power, thus avoiding the emission of greenhouse gases produced when fossil fuels are used to generate power. The replacement program's triple effect is that it helps families save money, reducing both energy demand and up to 2.8 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions annually. Mexicans are reported to consume over 180 billion kilowatt hours of electricity each year. News from Asia now, and the Asian Development Bank, or the ADB, has approved a loan of $80 million for a road rehabilitation project in Vietnam. The loan will help improve 300 kilometers of unpaved and frequently impassable roads in areas prone to natural disasters in 6 northern provinces, which house remote villages that are home to ethnic minority communities. As noted by the ADB, building better roads will reduce time and costs incurred by villagers in traveling and help develop links between rural communities while giving access to better facilities. The bank adds that this will open up new opportunities for trade, which will stimulate investment. The project will be implemented by the provincial people's committees in the 6 provinces and is scheduled for completion in December 2016. According to the ADB, over 72% of Vietnam's 87 million people live in rural areas, while 13% of the total population live below the poverty line of $1.25 per day. To bridge the gap, to date, the ADB has provided Vietnam with 114 sovereign loans, a sovereign guarantee of $325 million and 255 technical assistance grants. Meanwhile, China, the world's second largest consumer of gold, has activated its first automated gold dispensing machine. Gongmei Gold Trading, which installed the ATM, says it plans to roll out 2,000 similar machines in the next 2 years. The unique touchscreen machine dispenses gold bars and coins of varying weights based on the latest market price of the metal. The ATMs can be preloaded with 200 kilograms of gold, worth approximately $10 million. And finally, Nokia has declared that it will shed a further 3,500 jobs as part of its €1 billion cost-cutting program. Although Nokia is still the world's largest mobile phone maker by volume, the Finnish company has absorbed a net loss of €368 million in the 3 months ending June 2011, owing to stiff competition from the premium smartphone market, including Apple's iPhone and those operating on the Android platform. Time for a commercial break now, and we return shortly with an exclusive interview with Prakash Shafter, Managing Director of Janashakti Insurance. Stay with us.
Your smartphone just got smarter with Mobitel. Smart Prepaid offers a 1-day data option with 100 MB for 20 rupees and a 7-day data option with 200 MB for 75 rupees on your smartphone.
Mobitel. We care, always. If you're looking for a leasing company to make your wheels go round, with fast, friendly and hassle-free service, together with flexibility and the best interest rates in town, let us show you how we can make your world go round. People's Leasing Company. We're the #1 in leasing, because pleasing people is our #1 priority.
Your smartphone just got smarter with Mobitel. Smart Prepaid lets your laptop surf the web by connecting to your smartphone with an amazing 30-day data plan offering 1 GB for 299 rupees and 3 GB for 799 rupees.
Mobitel. We care, always.
Welcome back to Benchmark. The insurance sector is reported to have performed reasonably well last year, with life insurance growing by around 30% and general insurance by 10%. Nevertheless, penetration levels of the life insurance segment seem quite low in comparison to other nations in the region. And is there undue pressure on pricing because of the fiercely competitive nature of the insurance sector? Let's listen in now as the Managing Director of Janashakti Insurance, Prakash Shafter, addresses these issues. Thank you for joining us on Benchmark. Prakash, welcome. How is the insurance sector faring these days?
The insurance sector is, in the year 2011, experiencing a growth which is quite favorable compared to the previous years. As you know, there was a collapse of the global economy, and that impacted on Sri Lanka too. We had a couple of bad years. 2008 and 2009 were bad as far as top line growth was concerned. 2010, there was a marginal improvement in the second half. This year has been thankfully a lot better, and insurers have got something to smile about after all. We have, as at the end of June 2011, we had roughly a 20% growth in both lines of business, that is general and life business. So there is something for us to be hopeful about, and I am confident that will continue at least for this, at least for the latter half of this year.
Well, in this country, general insurance is almost an imperative, but when it comes to life insurance, there somehow seems to be little progress made when it comes to penetration. We are very low compared to the other nations in the region as well. What do you think? Where do we stand at the moment?
I wish what you are saying were true. It is not an imperative as you say it is. People insure their cars fundamentally because third-party insurance is compulsory. They also view motor cars as being something which is subject to damage quite regularly, so people insure that part. Quite apart from that, the other classes of insurance, people do not view it as an imperative. It is a hard sell. Life insurance, like you said, is not something that people even look at. It is something which is sold rather than bought. Having said that, the penetration rate is a term which is, I think, overused. We constantly talk of penetration rates, and probably that's the only accurate measure that we have got. Sri Lanka has roughly, my guess is around 2.5 million insurance policies in force, which would mean that if you discount the elderly, the children, then the non-working women, you'd find that the penetration rate, my guess, is around 10 to 15%. This is yet low in comparison to our neighbors even in the South Asian region.
What about the north and east? Are we targeting those areas as well?
The Northeast, since the completion of the war, has been targeted not only in the insurance sector, but also every other sector of the economy. The Northeast has historically been an area where the savings mentality is inculcated. The culture, it is part and parcel of the culture. If you go back to the Insurance Corporation of Sri Lanka, which has been around for the longest, you will find that their best retention rates, the highest sales came from the Jaffna Peninsula. That is something which we too have found to be the case. As far as Janashakti is concerned, we opened in the Northeast well before the end of the war, or even before the ceasefire, to be honest. That is, we opened sometime in 2001 or 2002. We currently have around 12 branches in the North and East, and we are in the process of opening further branches based on areas where we feel there is a potential for sales. Having said that, we are certainly refocusing on the Northeast, trying to strengthen our existing branch network. We see a need for greater recruitment and the potential for a much larger sales volume than we have at the moment.
Prakash, what must we do to actually increase the awareness, to spread the awareness, especially amongst the poor? Because most often they have just a sole breadwinner, and shouldn't these breadwinners be insured?
I'm glad that you realize that life insurance is a need. There is the duty of spreading the message of life insurance, and the need for it, I think, falls upon the insurance industry. We have been rather tardy in that, I must confess. That's a confession which I think we need to make. Having said that, we are at least taking the first steps in the right direction. We have dedicated a week in the year, calling it the Insurance Awareness Week. And we have the industry as a whole, not any particular company, the industry carries out a joint awareness campaign, which includes a media spend as well. All of this towards promoting the awareness of life insurance amongst the general public. That is but one step. We've got a long distance to go, and I'm hopeful that we will build upon it, and that the general public in Sri Lanka will become aware of the need for insurance, and that life insurance will be a product which is bought rather than sold.
Well, like you mentioned, this year seems to be going well. Now, 2010, for instance, for life insurance was the largest hike in 5 years, and revenue in both life and general was something like 110 billion rupees. So the insurance sector did reasonably well. Life insurance grew by 30% and general insurance by 10%. But given where we are at now, where is the growth coming from these days?
I would like to take the life insurance part separately and the general insurance part separately. If you look at the life insurance growth, a lot of it is related to the state of the economy. 2008 and 9 were very dull years, both for life and general, because there was a collapse of the global economy. It had its impact on the Sri Lankan economy. There was less disposable income in the hands of the public, and life insurance is the first casualty. People obviously would not go and purchase life insurance when they are short of cash. In addition, as far as renewals go, when people are short of cash, the first casualty again is their existing life policy. So there is a double hit. New business falls and existing business also falls. In the latter half of 2010 and in 2011, the state of the economy has improved, as we are all aware. So the growth in the life insurance industry is a reflection of that, the fact that the economy has improved. On the general insurance side, the interest rates have lowered. So you've seen more than a halving of the interest rates. This has contributed greatly to the growth of the leasing market, which in turn means that motor business flows to the insurance industry. The next point is that you've seen a reduction in duties. Again, it means there is an influx of motor vehicles and greater motor insurance. Quite apart from that, the general growth in the economy, infrastructure projects, all of these create new demand and need for insurance. So you're seeing a reflection of all of these in the growth rates that we have experienced in our particular industry. I'm hopeful it will continue, but only time will tell.
Time now for a commercial break. On the other side, we have more insights from Prakash Shafter. Stay tuned.